Welcome to Culture on Tap. We are a podcast that is about bridging the cultural gap, one conversation at a time. We have myself, Xavier Bright. We have Dale sitting across from me, and we have Range behind the camera. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share on anywhere you listen to or watch podcasts. And make sure you hit the bell so that you get notifications whenever we have new content coming out so that you can tap in with us and so that we can be a resource for you to challenge or encourage you. So how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
Good?
Yeah.
All right.
We ready for fun facts of Range?
We are ready.
Yeah.
We ready?
Yeah, you let me ask the question.
Yeah.
No, feeling good.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm just checking in.
Yeah.
That's
You know?
So
for sure.
fun facts with Range today. So you happened to say, when we asked the question a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember which week it was, about game shows. We brought up Smarter Than a Fifth Grader. You had not heard of that show. So
No.
it made me think, with the stuff that Range doesn't know, does Range know more than a fifth grade student of a normal school what they should have learned?
Oh, Lord.
So
What does this entail?
This ought to be interesting.
I'll ask the question, and then Xavier gets to decide if he can get it right or not before you answer.
Okay.
I'll,
So what do you mean a normal fifth grade student? What is normal?
Yeah, we about to figure out if I'm smarter than a fifth
Okay.
grader too.
that's fair. So I'll
Yeah.
ask the question, and if both of you disagree, so the first question is geared towards a second grader, according to the test.
They full of crap.
I already know it.
You already know it?
I already know they're full of it.
So the question is, who gave us the Statue of Liberty? I think that's fair. Second grader.
Okay. Like what country?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I got that.
Do you think he can get?
Would you being that he just said dang?
Well, I said dang because we just talked about this a few months ago.
But you shouldn't have to talk about it. And I would agree. This is probably a second grade-ish, third grade question.
Yeah, I don't know when I learned it, but I remember it and it stuck. So,
Yeah, like if someone said, "What do you use?"
I think I figured it out.
Go for it.
France.
Look at
Hey,
you. There we go.
there we go.
Got it.
Had to
There we
dig-
go.
Had to dig
Had to
way
dig a
back.
little deeper.
Had to dig a little deeper.
Okay, we're gonna go a little harder. This next one is rated as a third/fourth grade question.
I was terrible in the fourth grade. I made my first D in the fourth grade.
When did you start making the grades to get national honors?
Oh, that was later on.
Oh. Who invented the light bulb?
Okay, I think I get that.
Invented the light bulb.
You heard it.
You
You heard it.
I mean, I understand sometimes I blur my words together, but I said that relatively clear.
Oh, what's the guy? He's got all the messy hair all the time and all the pictures.
I think I know who he's talking about, but that ain't it.
That ain't it. Stay away from him. I know. I'm almost 100%.
So it's between two guys, and I think I know which one it is. And I'm gonna explain myself, and it's gonna sound.
Oh, please, just go ahead.
Just
go ahead.
we listened.
The first one that I don't think it is that I was thinking about was Einstein.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah,
Right.
No.
I
It's
should
the
have
guy
asked
with the
him what's
messy
his
hair.
first name. He has messy hair. Yes.
Yeah. The other one, and the only reason I don't know why these two names stick out to me, but the only reason I'm going with the next one is because on my TikTok feed, there's a company that's building an electric 18-wheeler,
Okay.
and the name of the company is well, now I lost it. Sitting here trying to explain it, and I lost it.
Dig a little deeper.
Yeah. But in it, Edison.
That's
Yeah.
it. There it is.
All right.
And so the name of the company is Edison
The fact
Motors
that
or something
that's
like that.
where you had to go to get to Edison, but you got it.
You got it.
You got it.
Hey,
So
no matter
here-
how you get there, just
here-
how you
Hey,
got that
it's
you're there.
there. there.
Here's the third one, and this one is a doozy. Like, I will be thoroughly you might not know this one. I think you will. But I'll be shocked if you do. Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest.
Okay. We're going on a 4th or 5th grade level. Where we at?
This is full 5th grade according to the
grade. An amazing 5th grade teacher. So
okay. Who were the first 2 men to walk on the moon?
I think.
Why are you saying like that's not a real thing?
It's up for debate, right?
yeah. I don't think they did it. That was in Hollywood. That wasn't on the moon.
Look, if Mount Rushmore ain't real, we did not go to the moon. I mean, come on.
I'll give you a hint. They are both Americans.
Well,
I think I might know, but I don't know.
you
Really?
said 2 of them?
Two. Get one of them. Could you get one of them? No, Google. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm going to type it to see if I'm right.
Yeah, I don't have a clue.
You don't have a clue of either one?
No.
Why don't you go ahead and just guess?
Okay, because you're done.
I'm done.
Is it Neil Armstrong and John Glenn?
Nope, that was close. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz. Okay.
Buzz Lightyear.
But that's where the idea of Buzz Lightyear came from, was Buzz Aldrin.
Nice.
So that's good though.
So full of it.
So you don't think that they actually walked on the moon? Let's dive. I
actually don't know. I honestly don't care enough to for it to matter if they did or didn't.
I mean, because there's a huge conspiracy theory out there that they didn't.
And that's the only reason I said it, because I've heard people argue back and forth. And
true story. Me and Michelle. It's been quite a few years back now. Keep names out of it, but we had dinner at a couple's house, and this, like, in the times we had met this couple, never let in that they were like conspiracy theorists, like to the umpteenth, like
Hour.
Yeah, it like so. I think we all have a little. We're like, I don't think that's real or whatever. Like theirs was everything, and he asked me this, like, do you think that someone walked on the moon? And I was like, I mean, as far as I understand, yeah. And he's like, oh no, and pulls out a videotape, and like it's showing like look, the flag is like moving. And of course there's no wind, and I'm like,
you been there?
how you know there's no wind?
And I'm just like, okay. And he like for an hour had me trapped watching this video, and I'm just like, we've spent way too much time.
It don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't change my day ever.
Not a bit. Nope, not a bit.
So yeah,
but there is some stuff out there that's like, oh wow.
Yeah, like some conspiracies out there, like, oh, you might have just convinced me. Like,
yeah, for sure.
We got way off of this, but
I was like, we should do an episode on conspiracy theories.
Yeah, there's a good one. So
yeah,
but I will say,
but I did not know the names of those 2 guys.
But you did the first 2.
The first 2 I got.
That was impressive.
Yeah,
I will say.
Maybe
you're
or maybe
smarter
not.
than a second grader and a third grader.
You'll whoop them.
Got
no chance.
Drinking Rider's about to pass me up.
Well, we'll see how you do next week. Maybe we have some more.
Yeah.
So let's get into today's.
Yep.
Which
almost forgot we had an episode.
Yeah.
We just talking.
So today, we finished our series on the Hillsong documentary, and one of the things that came out of it for us to talk about was celebrity pastors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the first question is, what comes to mind when you hear the phrase celebrity pastor?
Okay. So without thinking about it, what came to mind was skinny jeans and fake glasses. That's just
fake glasses, skinny jeans.
Whenever I just thought of it, skinny jeans, fake glasses. Then you dive in a little deeper, and I think of like props. I think of lights. I think of I think they're mascots. You know, like I think coffee shops. It's just those are. It's just
I feel like
a pot of gumbo
it feels like your celebrity pastor clearly is a hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I could think of some celebrity pastors that aren't.
Okay.
I mean, one rocks a mullet right here in our city. I mean, he is a celebrity pastor.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
However you feel about him,
Yeah.
Joel's a celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, if you get on Oprah,
You're winning.
You winning.
Yeah.
As far as celebrity goes.
What about you? What do you think?
Me? My initial, like, without thinking, is the makeup, the circular makeup thing that has a mirror. I think it's called a Palm Pilot. I don't know how I knew that. But
I don't know if that's.
But the little you know what I'm talking about, that women use. And the reason I think that is because I went to a conference once, and it was actually the Experience conference, and I'm on the monorail with like 5 or 6. I'm assuming they're worship leaders. They might not be. I might be stereotyping right now, but that's my assumption. And we're getting off to go in the building, and they all pull them out of the back of their pocket to check their hair before they walk in out of their skinny jeans. My other initial is deep cut V-necks. Like,
it's interesting. We are describing old buddy that was on the Hillsong documentary.
But I mean, yeah.
He's a poster boy.
Honestly, another thing for me is, because I I don't know what the outfit would be called, but like Judah Smith be wearing stuff that I'm like, I don't think that even goes together, bro. So like weird outfits, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Like, and the best way to put it is distraction.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think about.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, like it's scary for me because like it's not obviously, and you said, you know, talking about Joel Osteen, like not everybody is a celebrity pastor that looks like we're describing. However, what is the mainstream, like not only from a church standpoint, because we all speak Christianese and we all follow certain people, but from the secular standpoint, what's in your face are those skinny jean guys, with the exception of the old heads, like Kenneth Copeland, like Joel Osteen.
what's Tammy Faye's ex-husband?
It'll come.
Yeah.
But you have the older generation,
right.
who they look and sound a certain way.
So would you say would it be fair, and maybe somebody, and you can feel free to comment and say, I feel like we're stereotyping. I feel like there's 2 camps. There's old school TV evangelist celebrity, and then new school
social
hipster,
media,
cutting edge, like be ahead of the game in fashion celebrity. And maybe I'm wrong in this. It feels like to me, old school celebrity is, I'm still more celebrity in the Christian realm. Like maybe famous people follow me because they feel the need to still have Christianity involved. New school is like, I'm just a celebrity because of the way I perceive myself. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the same still.
Yeah. I mean, because I think it's what makes a celebrity pastor a celebrity pastor. Like what?
Well, it's just, I think it's the same thing as any celebrity. People determining you're important enough for me to follow, which is like, and it's not just so this is the thing I've learned, especially with my daughter, my older daughter, is how things have changed. So like, for example, to give you a prime example, there are people that do reality TV shows, and they're like one-offs. They do like one season of Survivor, or one season of Big Brother, or one season of The Challenge. And there's others that continually come back and do 4, 5, 6, however many seasons, or turn that into their career. And now they are officially a celebrity that people follow, all because they were just someone that got picked to be on a TV show, which is mind-blowing to me. Like there's nothing like they don't sing well or they don't act well. Like they're just someone they got picked. Now, I guess with the challenge, most of these people are pretty athletic.
Athletic, right.
So they have that going from it. Like there's multiple people that have done Survivor that are like basically famous because they've done it so many seasons, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, cause like one that I think of, he was a construction worker and went on Survivor, was really good at it, and has won twice, I think. Hadn't Rob won twice, I think? Boston Rob?
I think so.
Gets his own nickname, Boston Rob. Like, literally, if you've ever watched the show, there's people that have never watched the show that know who he is, because he's actually got to go to red carpet events and stuff, which is...
And has his own TV show now.
Has his own TV show now. And he was not making fun of someone that's a construction worker, but he was just a construction worker that applied to be on a show, and he's phenomenal at it. Like, I actually enjoyed watching him. I like the show Survivor, but now he is a bona fide celebrity, which is crazy talk to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could go to the next one. What is the difference? Is there a difference between a celebrity pastor and a pastor who everyone knows?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like some people would say, I actually had this conversation with somebody. I had it with, I think I had it with Paul, which is probably going to be in our next set series on here with us. But he didn't, but someone else said, I think you're just speaking semantics. I don't think I am. I think the difference is this. I think a pastor that everyone knows, it's like, I mean by everyone knows, like for example, if you are a Christian and are faithfully following Christ, you probably know who John Piper is or a Matt Chandler. I would argue outside of the Christian realm, very few people, if any, know who John Piper is.
Yeah.
In fact, they probably don't know who, like, I would even say until like the stuff came out on Ravi Zachariah, nobody knew who he was if you weren't following Christianity.
Right.
I think celebrity pastor is, you don't have to have any connection per se to Christianity to know who they are. Like, I would argue there's a ton of people that know who Joel Osteen is and have never darted the doors of a church.
Yeah.
Or even Carl Lentz for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a celebrity pastor is someone that I know who you are off of the status of the people you know, not because, like, I think everyone knows is, whether it was of choice or not, you preach the gospel and tons of people want to hear you. Like, you can't fault somebody for that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not something they did wrong. But I think when you create an Instagram image and a TikTok image where people are wanting to know stuff outside of your gospel walk, it feels like you want to be known.
Yeah.
Not for a pastor, but just known in general.
Yeah. I think the difference is clear.
Yeah.
Like, just being honest, like, one, I feel as though is based off of fame and pointing to self, and the other is based off of influence that is God-given.
Right.
And for the expanding of the kingdom. Like, I feel as one is self-fixating, and the other one is operating from a place of humility for the expansion of God. And if they are known to the general public, it doesn't matter to them.
Right.
Whereas, you know what I'm saying? I feel as though it's pretty clear that there's a difference.
I agree. And I think that people that are well-known pastors, I'm not saying that we don't crave to, like, if we had the opportunity to sit under in a service under them, we would. But I don't think it's because of who they are. It's because of the way God uses them. We're just blown away at the gift that God has given them, and we just want to experience that.
But I think with that, I think that is the heart, but sometimes it manifests differently.
I agree.
Because I think we are a part of the problem, and I'm talking about the body of Christ, but also us.
Absolutely.
At some points, because how many conferences have we gone to together? We hear somebody speak who we're excited about, and we're like, that was flat.
Yeah.
But that's a part of the problem.
Bro, no, I
because
agree.
It's like,
well, we went to a conference going to hear like two other people, and the first person to speak was Megan Marshman, and she killed it. And like, there wasn't nobody else that week that, like, we talked about her message all week.
Yeah. And I think where the heart is what you
Right.
just communicated, but sometimes I feel as though we can be a part of the problem, and those celebrity pastors
Right.
feel that weight of, I've got to deliver a life-changing message week in, week out, to the point where it is going to bring people to tears, where 5,000 people are going to respond to the gospel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But do you feel like, I feel like also a difference is a pastor that's well known probably does not have any desire for people to do that, where a celebrity pastor wants to be
wants
wanted.
that. Right.
He,
Exactly.
Like he lives his life out for that.
Exactly.
Like I feel like there's been people, like I'll give you a prime example. I got to experience twice. I got to hear Billy Graham on 2 different occasions. And the second time was actually at a breakfast. And I remember him saying, this is not healthy. That so many of us showed up today just to have breakfast with me, and I'm just a guy. And I'll never forget that, because that's so impactful that and some people can say, well, then don't show up. But I feel like he still saw it as a chance to get to teach. And so even for him to verbalize that, whether it's from his heart or not, I'll never know. But
Right.
it spoke volumes to me.
Yeah.
Where we have other pastors out there that are literally signing people's Bible, which is a whole nother.
Or you can buy season tickets.
Or you can buy season tickets to get to sit up close in the spitting section, or have coffee with them.
Crazy.
$5,000, we can have a cup of coffee.
Crazy. That is so.
I wonder if it costs more if it's
crazy.
in fall season when it's like pumpkin spice.
Yeah, pumpkin spice latte. It's got to.
Got to.
It's got to cost more.
So piggybacking on that question, can you be, which we have no idea what it's like to be a celebrity pastor, but do we believe that you can be a celebrity pastor and be humble at the same time?
I think I haven't seen it. And so I would say I find it very difficult to believe that it's possible. For one, for a person to be a celebrity, first off, you are on a platform and people have put you in a place where only God deserves to be.
Right.
First and foremost.
Right. Whether you wanted to be there or not.
And it's like, could you sit there and be, because first off, we have this innate posture in our heart to be worshiped.
Right.
In the sense of, we are the center of our universe. So you have other people who are basically lifting you up in that regard. And it's like, how could you be humble?
Right.
How could you actually walk in humility? Yeah, I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying
You ain't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen it remotely close.
Kind of like you saying, I ain't ever seen a fast 3-legged dog, but you're not saying it couldn't happen.
I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, but it's just like, whenever you look at a person who is whether a celebrity or a celebrity pastor, like, you feel as though that your value is placed in the market.
Right.
And so in order for you to continue to have value in the market, you have to continue to exceed expectation to get your platform to where it's bigger. So how can you be humble if that is your...
No, I agree with
you.
you.
See what I'm saying? Like, I just...
Well,
I don't know.
And I'd even add to that, to me, I have no idea what it's like to be that known. But I have to just go, okay, even in my own life, when you're in a position where people answer to you and you get to make decisions, there's even times now in my life that I have to check myself, like, okay, like, am I feeling myself because I feel like you overstepped your bounds? Am I really answering this the right way, or am I just being a jerk? Like,
right.
So if it happens even on a micro scale,
Yeah.
like, how much more would it be? And I guess for me, it goes back to, I don't know what your puzzle is to build. All I can see is the puzzle pieces you're putting out there. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, if you have is there anything wrong with you having an Instagram page where you share with people what you do? No, but when you hire someone to run your Instagram page, like how is that a humble thing to do? Like that you feel so needed that this has to be out there. Like it's not enough that you're just the pastor of the church.
Yeah, and it's not enough to have like an administrative assistant.
Right.
Like, but this is a person who is literally documenting everything that you do. It's not setting up a schedule.
Right.
Like to where you have a meeting here, you have a meeting here, you have this phone call at this time. That's one thing. But you have somebody who is literally posting on social media. Like, bro.
Right. No, like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, literally going, I'm gonna listen to your message and find the one line that I think is most powerful, and then post it on your page, not the church page, on your page. Like, and I mean, again, I'm not trying to act like pride is not an issue for me at all, but that's why I don't share my own messages. Like today, you preached, I shared the message, and literally said, "Come," and I didn't even say, "Join us while Xavier preaches." I just said, "Join us as we go through Daniel chapter 4." But I don't post my own because I would never want someone to go, "Well, that's kind of full of yourself to put your own stuff out there." Even though I do believe that God gave me this word, and I do wish that people would listen. Like I just don't do it.
Yeah.
But I even think with your message today, like I think when you hit that level, it's about the people you surround yourself. Like you talked about Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar today. I think one of Nebuchadnezzar's biggest issues were he had two people in his ear. He had Daniel, who's doing it for free, trying to show him truth, and then he has a group of other people that he pays,
the wise guys,
building him up.
Yeah.
Look what you've built. Look what you've done. So it's hard for him, even though hearing the warning of God, like when all those voices are going off, and I think that's what's happened to a lot of people. Like that's why I don't think you can be humble, is because you've allowed the voices and the likes and the hearts and all those things to cloud your judgment.
Yeah, and if you guys know of a celebrity pastor, who is walking in humility, please point them out. And you can definitely disagree with what we're saying, but it's just like
I feel like
this is based off of what we know, what we see, and what we've observed. Is just like I don't see it.
Right,
and it's not even close. It's not like, oh, like this guy, he may struggle with it a little bit, but I can see it. No.
I would tell you, if you were a well, like at the level of like a John Piper or something like that, where you're known mainly in the Christian realm, I am not saying that I don't expect you to have a different demeanor than a guy that's planting a church. Like I'm not even saying that at all. You have this knowledge you've built, what you're talking about. Like I get that. I'm talking about where you feel like when you enter the room should look like that's a problem. So
it's when you got pastors saying, "Oh, I can't be mentored by him because his church isn't as big as mine."
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about humility.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or I mean, on the reverse role, we've got some that are going like, he's too young to tell me anything. Right. I mean, because we would agree that there are people out there that would not want the advice of us, even at fixing to be 42 in early 30s. Like, that's not like we haven't put in enough time.
Yeah.
Which is
ridiculous. Yeah.
So are we in agreement? I guess it's like humble is one thing. Is being a celebrity pastor wrong?
Easy answer, yes. Because going back to what I said before, nobody was was created to be at that level of stardom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that level of just look at me, look at what I've done, look at what I've created. And again, you have, like, I think we've made the distinction. You have influencers like a Billy Graham, like a John Piper, like a Tim Keller, like a Matt Chandler, like a Eric Mason, whomever, who have huge platforms
and
like international influence, But everything about them, from what we see, is not a celebrity pastor because it's not about them.
No, I mean, I think a prime example is
Where you have
Go ahead.
real quick before you, but you have John Piper who has manuscripts of books that he hasn't released because he says it's too much about him and not enough about God.
See, that's a different mindset. Well, I mean, and I think a prime example is one of our Youth Reach boys is reading one of Tim Keller's books, and he came to me last week and said, "Did you know he passed away this year?" And I was like, "I did," but that tells you you're not a celebrity.
Yeah,
because if a celebrity dies,
you don't know it.
Everybody knows. I mean, not that I want. Everybody knows Jimmy Buffett died yesterday.
Yeah,
like it happened.
Yeah,
and so, or at least it did when we're recording.
Short answer for that. Yes, I would say.
I agree.
I would say that it's wrong.
I think it's the mindset, especially when there's nothing scripturally that says that you should reach for that type of fame.
Exactly.
There's nothing like that's never been. I mean, when the model is a homeless guy being abused and beaten as the model, and you choose, and I hear me say, I get that your environment changes how you do ministry. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Yeah.
But there are things where I just feel like if we had celebrities that went to church here, which would be really nice for the finances, I would hope that you and I would be very cautious of the relationship. Not that like they're bad people, but just cautious in the stance of, am I loving them the same way I love the guy that's unemployed? Or am I loving them because of the potential of what they can do for me? Which is also the unhealthiness. Yeah. Money is such a thing. Yeah. Like we let people in our churches make decisions because they give more than someone else, which is crazy talk. Yep. Or put them in positions they don't deserve to be in because they have money. Right. Which is why celebrity pastor has become the thing. Yep. Like we have this, and it's a cool movement. Like my pastor hangs out with professionals and movie stars and stuff like that. I'm
athletes and
my thing is it cool? Because I mean, the stuff that seems to be going on in those realms are not good. And I'm not saying they're not trying to present the gospel. It just doesn't seem like that's where they should be.
Yeah.
So kind of going off rail, not really off rail, but not in the notes. So how do you combat whenever the celebrityness or whatever, the stardom just kind of falls in your lap unexpectedly? So let's just, for hypothetically, Culture on Tap explodes. You know, we have a fun fact with Range that goes viral and
hey.
But and then next thing you know, we've got loads of people coming on Sunday because of Culture on Tap, and you know, and the whole situation just explodes and kind of falls in your lap. So how do you combat that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I would say that why did we start this? For like that's first of all, we started this for one because you have three different people from three different backgrounds who love Jesus and who are really, really, really tight for the sake of the gospel.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line, right? So if that happens, and we change the dynamic where it's not about Jesus anymore, it's not about the random conversations that we have, it's about appeasing people, it's about gaining even more influence. I think that would be the issue,
right?
Is if we change the dynamic for the sake of more money, more followers, more things of that nature. Right. Whereas if we stay who we are,
stay true to ourselves,
if we stay grounded in the gospel and why we even started this, I feel as though that would be the difference between being celebrity influencers and just Christians who are influencers.
Right. So, because I mean, like you said earlier, you can be a celebrity nowadays with never even seeing a TV screen.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, so I mean, my initial answer to that would be, and I mean, I think it'd take, hopefully, for all of us, like he said, we stay grounded in what we hoped. Like, because let's just be real. Like, the goal was to share the gospel as three friends crossing the cultural bridge, and like, so, but let's be honest, we would love for the subscribing to get into enough that we put a little money in our pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
Ain't none of us.
And none of us
We
killing
ain't
it.
buying $2,000 watches, or
Skateboard.
I ain't got nothing Versace anywhere in my house.
I ain't
I don't
never-
even know how to spell that.
I ain't never heard of Versace. or however you say it.
But I would tell you, let's say, if I'm being honest, I think anyone that is true to the gospel on any type of YouTube or podcast show is never going to explode more than likely to that level.
Right.
It could, but I don't think it will. But let's say it did. I think that we would have to have a long, hard conversation and prayer about if we continue this, maybe we change our roles when it comes to the church and hire a new senior pastor, and maybe we just preach on occasions and people don't know when we're going to preach. Because I would never want the church to be about people coming
Just to see
Just
you.
just to see either one of us, or even just I want to meet. I want to see Range's face. I never get to see Range, like whatever. Like I would never. And the best, like, not that he's done everything perfect. The best model I've ever seen of that still blows my mind is when Francis Chan stepped down at Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Cornerstone blew up, like became the largest church in California at one point, and he realized that people were coming. Like the attendance was
Just to see
vastly
him.
different when they knew he wasn't preaching, and he stepped down as lead pastor. He said, I will not be the reason people come here. And that's amazing. So like, yeah, my hope would be if we saw that happen, that we could come to an understanding of, okay, God, if your heart is for us to be the pastors of this church, then maybe we stop doing this altogether. Or if it's to continue doing this because we're literally reaching people and helping them grow in their faith, then maybe we change how often, how involved we are from a leadership perspective in the church. Because the positive is, if it did take off like that, we ain't got to get paid by the church no more. Like we could bring other people on to help in that. So, but I think it's a valid question because I mean, I could see someone watching this going, so you calling people celebrity pastors as you're posting stuff on social media, wanting people to watch.
Right.
However, my argument to that is we're not asking you to watch us for who we are. We're asking you to watch us because we believe in the message that we're putting out there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'd even say, so this summer, we got a chance to do camp. This next summer, we're getting offered even more camps because of Culture on Tap. The funny part is, I have not to date answered anyone's question when they ask me how many subscribers they have. Not because one, we don't have enough to talk about. Even though we appreciate everybody that watches, but I am already praying, Lord, never allow someone bringing it up like I think it's something that deserves to be praised. So we did camp this summer, and the only reason we introduced it as we do a show called Culture on Tap is because they asked us to do it that way. And so multiple teenagers, because that's their thing. How many subscribers do you have? Like, I didn't even want to say 100, not because I'm embarrassed, because I feel like it comes across like we're trying to be humble. And I just said, we just do the show.
Yeah.
Like, and just left it at that. Like, whether it's 100 or overnight, we didn't realize it jumped to 10,000. Like, I don't want to talk about subscribers. Just like I don't like when people ask, so how many people go to your church? Like, why does that need to be talked about?
We preach the gospel.
Exactly.
That's what happens at our church.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the goal. And why I think that our show is different is because you don't see a dynamic like this. You see people from the same camp who look the same, sound the same, talk the same, talking about things that they agree upon.
Right.
Whereas you have different people from different backgrounds who talk about things and we agree upon the gospel. That's why we can branch out and have these conversations.
Right.
And you don't see a dynamic like this. So I feel as though we bring something else to the table that is, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's a few dynamics. This is a really good question, but there's a few dynamics that's different, and it comes down to a self-fixation from my vantage point, the celebrity pastors that I see. It's how can I build my kingdom, my castle, instead of how can I point more people to the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's even, which our viewers and listeners don't see this, it's in the way we even choose to record, where people that want to be famous are going, what do I have to sacrifice to record? Where we go, okay, after work, after family time, when is a day that we can do this? Which is why we usually record anywhere from 4 to 6 shows at a time,
Right.
because we're like, if we're going to sacrifice, let's do it one day.
Yeah.
What? We do that?
Yeah.
What?
Because we just know we're not willing to give up a day a week
Right.
with our families and stuff like that. Like,
No.
I mean, it is, and because it's hard to juggle schedules, but like the goal is to talk about this. Prime example, as you can see, the screen is black because we messed up and we can't figure out how to get the logo up right now. But that like most people would be like, well, we can't have the show because it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what it's about. Like if someone decides because the screen's black, I can't watch the show anymore, you're right. You probably shouldn't.
Right.
That's not what we're
It's not
about.
yeah, exactly.
Like that's not the goal. Like, which is why if you ever notice our get to know you question, we're wearing the same shirt on when it comes out on Monday as the actual show on Wednesday, because when this show's off, we'll change shirts and do our next show. And the thing is, like, I'm sure we're not the only ones that do that, but we have a passion to do this, but the ultimate passion is the gospel. And I'd even say, because we've even talked about if we ever decided just to do a Disney show, like, no, that's not per se about the gospel, but I even hope in that the gospel is seen.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I think if we did like a Disney show or whatever, it would be the same concept as, we do. And Disney gets brought up because it's part of our dynamic.
Right. It's not
Same
like we're
thing
gonna,
if we're doing Disney,
right.
the gospel gets brought up because it's part of our dynamic.
No, we have our Christian hat on over here, so we're going to take that off and put on
put
our
on-
Disney
yeah,
hat. Like
right. So along those lines, that was a really good question, Range.
Yeah.
If you could give one advice to someone that's a celebrity pastor, what would it be?
that wants to be a celebrity
that
pastor.
wants to be or is,
Okay.
which
Well,
probably
I think
nobody wants our advice.
wants to be, you're already starting off.
I was about to want
Or
to be
is.
do something else. Go do something more humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, my if your wants to be, I'd be like, then your goal is not to be to deliver the
shepherd.
gospel. Like
Right.
you're using the gospel as a tool to elevate yourself instead
Right.
of using yourself as a tool to elevate the gospel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is completely different.
That was well put.
Yeah.
I know, it just came to my dome real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, but do something else. Like that's like you're doing.
First of all,
it
I
for
would
the wrong
never
reason.
if I wanted to be a
And-
celebrity, the last way I'd want to do it is through ministry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just being real honest.
Yeah. If you are, you're already in the midst of it. First off, you probably ain't watching this show.
Yeah.
Just being honest. But if you happen to be perusing
Yeah.
and watching this, I would say repent and humble yourself before the Lord humbles you.
Absolutely.
Just as I
Don't-
talked about
Yeah.
today in Daniel 4. Daniel said that to Nebuchadnezzar from verse so that you don't lose everything.
Yeah. No, that would have been my answer. Like, so your answer, like from your message today, my answer would be, heed the warning before your warning becomes your reality. Like, don't, because the reality also is, if that happens to you, it's like you never, I would say most people I know that go down that road don't turn back to God.
Yep.
They run further from him.
Yep.
At least that's my experience.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think we answered that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any
Think-
closing remarks?
No, I would love if you're in the comments and you disagree, feel free.
Please.
I know it probably sounds like we're just two church planners with this small YouTube show and we're bashing something that we want. Like, I want to be crystal clear. Like, that is, I don't want that life.
Yeah.
And like I said, like this is not. I mean, I guess it's kind of public knowledge that we're talking on it to our 103 people that watch us.
Mm-hmm.
But we have the opportunity this summer to speak on a bigger platform because of the show, and I don't look at that as like, look what we've done. I look at it and go, okay, we're doing what God has asked us to do.
Yeah.
And in no way do I go, man, I want this to make us popular. Because I think this past summer, because of the show, we got to direct camp and it'd have been easy for us to take a very arrogant stance, but we were like,
let's just be real. Our teens seem to do it.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah, they were literally.
And it's like, y'all need to chill.
Like they walking around like.
They own the place.
My daughter literally walked in, and what did she ask?
Wristband.
Oh yeah, can I? My dad's gonna be on the stage and be teaching. Can I get another wristband? And I'm like, who? You ain't doing nothing. You were literally doing nothing. But I think for us, it was like the biggest joy I took away from it. Yes, I love teaching was serving coffee, like things that I could have had the mindset like, I should not have to do this. Like I should not have to get up earlier than everybody else and make 40,000 slow drip coffee, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. No. Just a few questions for me. I would say, am I using my platform to make my name great or make the name of Jesus great? Mm-hmm. Do I want others to follow me or to follow Jesus? Am I modeling biblical faithfulness?
Oh, that's good.
And that's what it comes down to. Those three things, like, is it about you or is it about Jesus? Whenever it comes down to it. For the celebrity pastor, or for, even if you're not a pastor, if you want to be an influencer, a Christian influencer, or whatever the case may be, if you want to do a podcast, like, is it about you or is it about Jesus? What do you bring to the table that is going to glorify God and not yourself?
Well, and not even just what you just said. If your goal is for them to follow you and not Jesus, and you can say, I just want to help their lives, what are you going to do when you ruin their lives?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to sleep at night then?
Yeah. That's great. Well, this has been Culture on Tap. Thank you guys for tapping in with us. We will see you next week as we discuss another topic that really piggybacks off of the Hillsong documentary. Love you guys. See you soon. Culture on Tap is sponsored by Houston Radio Platinum, playing the best classic hits. You can download the Houston Radio Platinum app. It's in your app store, or just ask Alexa to play Radio Platinum.